The Coffee That Was Never Paid Back, Episode 1. Some moments seem too small to matter. No audience, no applause, no reason to remember them. Yet they travel, carried quietly by people we've already forgotten into places we never imagined. This is one of those moments. It was an early Tuesday morning in Lagos. A small coffee shop on the island was already filled with people trying to get something warm before the day began. Alex is 24, working the morning shift while he and a friend spend their evenings building a software product they hoped would one day become a business. As he delivered an order to a customer, something near the counter caught his attention. His father was standing there, searching every pocket of his jacket. His wallet was gone. The coffee he had ordered sat on the counter waiting, and the silence was becoming uncomfortable for a man who had spent his life taking care of everyone else. Alex wanted to help, but his customer was still speaking and there were too many people between them. Then a man standing behind his father stepped forward. He quietly said something to the cashier, placed a gentle hand on the old man's arm, picked up his own coffee, and walked toward the door. He never waited for a thank you. He never looked back. That evening, Alex asked his father how his morning had gone. His father smiled and simply said, "Someone was kind today." Alex never forgot that moment. Not because a stranger bought a cup of coffee, because he did it quietly, then disappeared before anyone could make him feel like a hero. 6 years later, the software Alex and his friend had built had become a successful company. That afternoon, he was meeting the final vendor of the day. The door opened. The man walked in confidently, greeted Alex, and began presenting his proposal. Something felt familiar. Not his face. The way he carried himself. Alex listened for a moment, then leaned forward. "Can I ask you something?" The man nodded. "About 6 years ago, on a Tuesday morning, were you in a small coffee shop near Adeola Odeku?" The room fell silent. The man frowned for a moment, then slowly smiled. "I think so." There was an older man at the counter who couldn't find his wallet. The smile faded into recognition. "I remember. That was my father." The room was quiet. Alex continued. "I was working there that morning. I couldn't get to him in time, but I watched what you did." The man looked surprised. "I honestly haven't thought about that day in years." "I have," Alex replied. "I've thought about it every time I had the chance to help someone and wondered whether such a small act could really matter." He paused. "The thing I remember most wasn't that you bought the coffee. It was that you didn't look back." For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then Alex closed the proposal on the table and smiled. "Now, tell me more about what you can do for us." Brian bought 1 cup of coffee and forgot about it before the day was over. Alex remembered it for 6 years. You never know which ordinary moment will become unforgettable in someone else's life. The acts that leave the deepest mark are rarely the ones we plan or perform for others to see. They're the quiet ones, done simply because they were the right thing to do. If someone came to mind while you were listening to this story, send it to them. Not to say thank you, but to remind them that what they did mattered more than they may ever know. Subscribe for episode 2 of The Quiet Power of Kindness, coming next week. The story it carries has been traveling for 20 years.